how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Invisible Man issue number 1. This is an official Universal Monsters tie-in comic put out by Image and Skybound. And if you guys haven't heard of these things, basically when Image got the rights to do Universal Monsters books, they decided to do individual story arcs with each monster, giving each one their own miniseries. They give the creators a good bit of freedom, and you're going to get a cool different story each time. Now this is James Tynion writing this, and James Tynion actually wrote the very first Universal Monsters book, and that was his take on Dracula. And this is kind of like that, where it's very much the first story, but looked at through a bit of a different lens. And we're starting off doing a pretty darn good character study here. The Invisible Man is really self-centered. He's a brilliant scientist, but that has kind of made him pretty arrogant. So he kind of hangs out by himself doing his own experiments and looking down at the other people in his lab. If they only knew what I was up to, it'd blow their minds, but I can't tell anyone what I'm working on. They wouldn't understand it. And I do really like that for him as a character. He gets kind of underestimated and overlooked by everyone else in his lab, especially those willing to play the corporate game, and he's not into that. He's invisible before he's actually invisible, which I think is a really cool take. And I also like that they're not rushing it. We do get a little bit of a flash forward at the beginning to show us some Invisible Man action, but after that, it's the Invisible Man in the laboratory doing some experiments, and issue 1 focuses on him turning just this rat invisible, and him sort of monitoring and relating to it, relating to the rat more than his co-workers, and watching the rat go crazy, but him kind of not minding that. Honestly, this feels a bit like Willard to start off with, but overall I like it. I like taking time watching him experiment, and I love the character-driven angle. I of course can't wait till things heat up in the later issues, but overall for an issue number 1, this is pretty fun, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm super glad that we're all the way at the 5th series and the Universal Monster books are still going. I'm guessing the next one is probably going to be Wolfman, and then probably Bride of Frankenstein, and honestly I'm super excited to read them all, so here's to another fun issue number 1. I really do like this, but if you guys want to see a little bit more of the story and the art, I'm going to switch to the close-up camera. I won't do any major spoilers, but if you want a bit of a deeper dive, then let's go ahead and move on to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at The Invisible Man issue number 1. I of course have the A cover, and we have a really solid character portrait cover for that one. I love the glow of the Invisible Man's syringe, and the way this blue kind of gradiates throughout the image. It's really cool. So there's the Invisible Man there, there's the logo, Image and Skybound $4.99, and there's the barcode. Now if we flip it to the back, we get to see the cover gallery. We have 9 covers and they're pretty cool. There's the A and the B. I also like this one. That speech bubble says, "You fools." And then we get some other cool ones. A black and white variant. Alex Ross doing a black and white painting. This red one's really cool. And the Bloody Hands one's really nice too. There's a sketch cover. And then this says the Invisible cover. I'm really curious what that looks like in real life. I'll have to see if I can hunt it down and see it. Inside the cover we get the credits. The Invisible Man, written by James Tynion IV, and the artist is Dani. And there's the extended credits. In the back we get a note from James Tynion, and he talks about how he went with Dracula first, but early on requested to hold the Invisible Man because he wanted to do that one as well. We get a couple fun sketchbook pages, more monster mail, and issue number 2 is going to come out September 24th. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the story proper. I'm not going to do any major spoilers, but I do want to break down and analyze a few plot points and kind of say my piece on the book. I'll be avoiding the ending and I'll be avoiding anything too big, but let's go ahead and take a bit of a deeper dive. We open up with a flash forward at the Lion's Head Inn. A police officer is attacked by an unseen force, and then for a title card we'll get this really nice portrait of the Invisible Man there. Chapter 1's entitled, An Invisible Man Can Rule the World. But after that, we jump back in time and find out how we got here. Basically, Dr. Griffin is working in a laboratory that's designing food preservatives, and he's taken the advantage of ordering some extra chemicals and just kind of doing random experiments with them. And that's where he stumbles across the monocane. It's a flower from India that has a strange ability to remove pigment from things, and he says he started messing with it just as a novelty. And that's where we get one of his laboratory superiors saying, hey, quit wasting your time and just do some work. And he talks about how he hates this guy because this guy's a corporate ladder climber who's not creative at all and just wants to do his job. He says he doesn't understand how science should be about exploring and finding new things, and you shouldn't be in it just for the recognition. And it is also worth noting, if you look at these boxes, the drawings of him here, quite often they'll hide the Invisible Man's face in the shadows to help emphasize that he's kind of an overlooked person. He's found that the mouse that he's injected with the monocane powder has become smarter than the other mice. Here it is getting to the cheese first, and he starts experimenting and trying to make it better and better, and that's when he sees the mouse not only starting to become depigmented, but eventually completely invisible, and he has to put soot on it just to see it. And I do like how we get more of a look at his face when he's alone and doing his own thing. Later on, he's at dinner with his boss, and we're put behind his head, again a way of shielding us from him. We find that he's dating the boss's daughter, but there's a bit of tension at this dinner. He's retreated off into his own little world, and the characters say he's doing things with his hands like he's still back at the lab and just envisioning it mixing chemicals. But when he gets back to the lab, he's greeted to quite a grisly sight. The other mice have been murdered by the invisible mouse. And he starts to understand the mouse. He's not scared. He gets it. He views himself as a superior in his field, and he knows that the powder has made this rat smarter, so how could he possibly stand all the other mice? Parallel that with the dinner he just had, and he has a fantasy of what if he was invisible? What would he do to those people that just didn't get him? The book goes on for a little while longer. As you can see, there's the staple, so we're only just at the halfway point. But I think we start to see the danger here. The fact that he isn't scared of what that mouse has done. But also, what if the invisibility serum didn't just make it smarter? What if it started to mess with its mind in other ways? And of course, you know he's going to continue to experiment, and we know from the flash forward he'll eventually use it on himself. Yeah, we can see the pressure cooker start to click on here. Overall, I really do like this. Again, as I said at the top, very character driven, and I like the ability to sit with the Invisible Man and watch him just experiment. Again, just starting off as an innocent little curiosity and getting deeper and deeper, and us at home knowing something is going to go terribly wrong. It's still very much the classic story, just looking at it through a bit of a different lens, and I'm curious to see how it will all play out by the end. Needless to say, we know it isn't gonna go anywhere nice. So overall, The Invisible Man's fun. If you guys are fans of the classic monsters, I definitely recommend checking this one out. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. If you guys want to see more videos kind of like this, feel free to click right here and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.